So this is how Jesus described humanity. The multitudes that he saw, as we find recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter number 9, down around about verse 34 and following through, he described the multitudes. These are the people who were coming to him with the sick and the suffering, and he was healing them. And it says, and he looked upon them, and he was moved with compassion. And he said, they are like sheep that have no shepherd. And I read that, and I say, wow, Jesus, when he saw the people, he saw them kind of lost and had lost their way, and they didn't know where to turn. And Jesus, he looked at his disciples and those who were there, and he said, the fields, they're white in the harvest. To simply say this, he said, there's so much suffering in this world. There is so much suffering around among humanity. People are devoid of hope. They don't know where to turn. And who is it that's going to go and bring them hope through the message of the gospel? And he said, the fields are white in the harvest. There are so many people who need to hear the message of hope, but he said, there's just not enough laborers to go forth and proclaim the message. You see, I believe that broke the heart of Jesus Christ just to say that. And I believe that it would be the same today, because the world is suffering. People are suffering. I get emails from people almost every day from all over the world who are telling me, Pastor King, would you pray for my sister-in-law or my brother-in-law or my brother and my mother and my father? And I pray for them. But you see, they're reaching out to a radio preacher because of the suffering of humanity, and they're desperate, and they're looking for hope. And when I can't do it every time, but whenever I can, I type them a little message just to help them to understand that there's hope. Somebody's praying for them. You see, we need to multiply this around the world. It doesn't have to be, or it shouldn't just be a preacher. But every Christian, if you are a part of the family of God, then you need to be about bringing hope to humanity wherever you can, whenever you can, whatever opportunity avails itself. And a lot of times these opportunities will arise when you're not even comprehending that God has given you an opportunity to bring hope. And you might just walk away. But let me encourage you to think it through and say, hey, that person needs hope. That person needs my prayers. That person needs my encouraging words. That person needs to hear the gospel. And instead of just walking away, take the opportunity that Christ has put into your sight and allow God to move through you through the presence of the Holy Spirit. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.